Good day, grade sevens. Today we'll be studying and analyzing and practicing some grammar conventions, and we'll be looking at the simple and continuous tenses today. So the simple tense is a category of verb tense. It covers the simple past tense, the simple present tense, and the simple future tense. It covers all three of those tenses: the past tense, the present, and the future tense. The three simple tenses are used to describe actions without specifically stating whether the actions are completed or ongoing. So the first tense that we will look at is the simple present tense. Now, simple in this context could also mean easy. And it's quite easy for us to identify the simple tenses. All right. So in the simple present tense, the action is simply mentioned and there is nothing being said about its completeness. So present tense means it's happening now, and the simple means we leave the verb as it is. It's quite simple. So for example, if our subject was I and our verb was study, and the rest of the sentence, the predicate would be I study in Texas school. That is the simple present tense. Present means it's happening now. If I had to say he, I would say he studies in Texas school. So sometimes the verb form has to change. Sometimes. There are a few exceptions which we'll also look at a bit later. So that's the simple present tense. Present tense means it's happening now, and simple, the verb usually stays as it is. Like I said here, keep the verb in its simplest or in its simple present tense form. Here's a few examples. Ignore the simple past and simple future for now. Here's a few examples of the simple present tense. It usually rains every day here. So the verb rain stays the same. It smells very delicious in the kitchen. There are a few examples. And then we get the continuous present tense. And here is where some people get confused at times. So the present continuous, also called present progressive, is a verb tense which is used to show that an ongoing action is happening now. It's still the present tense, but there's some change that happens, either at the moment of the speech or now in a larger sense. The present continuous can also be used to show that an action is going to take place in the near future. So here is our formula. Any continuous tense, whether it's present, past, or future, the verb at the end always has ing. What matters whether it's present, past, or future is the helping verb that we place here. So this would be present. Am. I am listening to music. Remember, for any continuous tense, we add on ing to the verb. So our helping verb, our being verb would be am, because it's singular and it's present. You or we or they are, for present tense, continuous, because it wouldn't make sense to say they dancing happily. No, they are dancing happily. This verb here that we use, this helping verb, also needs to be the present, but it needs to agree with our subject. Or he or she is reading books. Again, any continuous form of the verb takes ing at the end. Then we have the past tense, or the simple past tense. Again, it is simple, so only in this tense, it says here, just change the verb in the sentence to past tense. When we want to just make it simple, past, remember the simple past tense is used to talk about a completed action in a time before now. The simple past is the basic form of past tense in English. The time of the action can be in the recent past or in the distant past. So the past tense tells us something that's happened before. But now we're talking about the simple past tense, not the continuous past tense, but the simple past tense. We just changed the verb in the sentence to past tense. Here's an example. Two boys played with a ball. You see, if it was play, I just changed the verb to past tense for simple. Here are a few more examples. An old lady walked with her cat. A nurse brought a little girl baby to the park. Just the verb changes for simple past tense. If we move on to continuous past tense, remember, continuous, all the verb at the end always has ing added on. So the past continuous tense, it's still past tense, also known as the past progressive tense, refers to a continuing action or state that was happening at some point in the past. The past continuous tense is formed by combining the past tense of to be, for example, was or were, with the verb's present participle ing word. So again, past tense, but now continuous. So here, what is our helping verb going to be for past tense in the continuous? I was fishing. Again, ing at the end of the verb, always for any continuous tense, whether it be present, past, or future. You were fishing. I wouldn't say you was fishing. I would use the correct helping verb. He or she or it was fishing. Okay, there are more examples of the different subjects with the helping verbs. Then we have the simple future tense. Again, simple, easy, but this tense is a bit different for the simple. Simple future tense. The simple future is a verb tense that used to talk about things that haven't happened yet. This year, Jen will read War and Peace. Use the simple future to talk about an action or condition that will begin and end in the future. The future tense is something that must still happen, but now it's just simple. So how to form the simple future tense? The simple future is formed with will plus the base form of the verb. For example, she will read, okay, or she will stay. Will and shall can be used to predict events, for example, to say what we think will happen or to invite prediction. For example, Tottenham will win on Saturday. So before the verb, we usually place will. And this is for the simple. Now, here's an exception. The pronouns I and we don't take will. They're the only two things that always use the word shall. As we can see here, I shall see you next week. And we shall. The rest, everything else, always uses will. That's the simple future. Remember, used with will and shall for I and we. And here we have continuous future tense. It's a bit different. Again, remember for continuous, always ing at the end of the verb. So this will be the baby. If I had to say the baby slept and put it into the future continuous, the baby will be sleeping in the afternoon. Again, will be, okay, or shall be for I and for we. So if we had to identify the tenses in each of the following sentences, Hilton, the hungry lion, ate the tiny tortoise. What's the verb? Ate. There's no ing, so it must be a simple tense. And what is this tense, ate? It's past tense, so it is simple past tense. The giraffe was playing football at the zoo. Was is past tense. The verb play has ing, playing, so it must be continuous past tense. We shall attend the wedding. Shall is future tense. Attend is the verb. Is there ing? No. So it's not continuous. It is simple future tense. We shall attend the wedding. Muhammad will be going to the game. Where's the verb? Go. It has ing, so it is continuous, and will be shows us it's future continuous tense. Ra'ad paints a beautiful picture. Verb, paints. Present tense. And it's simple because the verb does not have ing. So this is simple present tense. Ra'ad paints a beautiful picture. Ra'ad is painting a beautiful picture. Painting, present tense, is present. And ing, so it is continuous present tense. Now, if I had to, that was just identifying some sentences using our knowledge and skills now of identifying simple and continuous tenses. I could, however, to ask you to write a sentence using one of those grammar concepts, whether it be future or continuous in any three of the tenses, future, past, and present. So let's take an example. I eat lettuce. If I had to ask you, that is the simple present tense. To put that into the future continuous. Now, future means it must still happen, and continuous, ing at the end of the word. So it will be I shall be eating lettuce. Okay? If I had to put that same sentence into the simple past tense, I would just change the verb. I ate lettuce. And if I had to put that sentence into the present continuous. Present means happening now. Continuous ing. I am eating lettuce. Okay, so besides just identifying the tenses like as in this slide, you could also be asked to write your own sentences using the different tenses. Okay, or to change a sentence to another sentence. Let's try another one. So let's say that's number 2. That was the first sentence we had to change on top. He will be playing FIFA. He will be playing FIFA. That's the future continuous tense. Let's try and put that into the past continuous tense. I just changed this helping verb, will, and I take be out because it's not future. Okay? So let's do the past tense of this. Simple past tense. He was playing FIFA. Okay? And if I had to take this sentence here again, he will be playing FIFA, and try and put it in the simple present tense. He plays FIFA. And for the simple or for the present continuous tense, he is playing FIFA. Okay, so that is what I want you to know the differences between. You all know the past, the present, and the future, but now it's working with these sentences and with these grammar concepts to understand the difference between the continuous and the simple tenses. That's the difference. Remember, continuous, ing at the end of the verb. Simple in most cases, just the verb changes except for the future tense, which we'll find over here. Okay? Right. Thank you, grade 7s. Assalamu alaikum.